down. Triple down.
Yo, what's going on, gamers? Massive PvP TWAB today, so let's get right into it. Bungie taking accountability for the slow bleed of Crucible over the years. Crucible maps, rewards, game modes, sandbox issues, and matchmaking. Let's start things off with the first note on the list, Crucible maps, and more specifically, the spawns on those maps. And this is something that we've been talking about for a long time now. We actually have a video that's more recent where we talk about the return of Citadel and ways that Bungie can improve the spawn system on that map and many others. And what do you know? That exact suggestion that we made in that video is getting implemented into the game, which is reducing the amount of spawn out situations that happen in Destiny 2. They're just not fun. It just doesn't make sense, and they're not fun to play against either. It takes forever to run out of those spawns, 15 seconds sometimes before you get into a gunfight. And most importantly, they are so easy to spawn trap. Take a look at this clip here where we perfectly exemplify this problem. Take a look at exactly what Bungie will be patching out here in a couple weeks. Oh my god, I feel dirty. 3 times? Watch this. You go right here, and then you go right back. This is bad if that's what happens. Oh. Everyone's always wondering, man, why is the Crucible not as fun? This is a massive reason why. The spawn system is, well, it's broken and has been for a while, and I'm glad to see it finally getting addressed. I hope that this change brings a really fresh, fun feel, in addition to the map pack, which will be fresh, fun maps. Hopefully this combination can really uplift the Crucible experience, which is what it's needed for a long time. In addition to these changes, they'll also be modifying initial spawn points, heavy ammo crates, and tiebreaker zones for all maps. Hopefully this patch note acts in the game as an opportunity to find the common ground, if you will, on those tiebreaker points that are located in a more neutral spot on the map, because recently the zones have been out of control, significantly favoring one team over the other. How many times have you walked around a raid and thought, my goodness, this would make for a great Crucible map? I know I think that all the time, so I'm excited to finally see maps like Europa, Neomuna, and the Terraform Pyramid Ship make their way to the Crucible. Lastly, the new maps coming in May will be built for 3v3 competitive game modes, which is great to hear because some of the recent maps have been a little bit on the big side and more so for 6v6, so exciting to see some 3v3 love coming in May. Moving on to the next focus, Artifice Armor will be available via competitive Crucible. Love to see it. And over on the trial side of things, it looks like they're making it a little bit easier to earn loot and rewards and maybe even find a flawless with changes to Passage of Ferocity and the newly introduced Passage of Persistence. Lastly, we do get confirmation here that Bungie will not be removing solos and duos from the Trials playlist. Instead, they're going to try to incentivize 3-person fire teams by providing more rewards after match completions. Fair play. I think this is a nice common ground met between completely removing solos and duos from the playlist while also trying to do more things to increase participation in trios. I still think Bungie needs to do more here, but this is a good start. Moving on to the next focus is game modes, and it looks like we're getting a new one in the form of Collision, a single large zone rotating between 5 points on the map on a timer. Capture it and control it to earn your team points. Simple and effective. A new 3v3 King of the Hill game mode, and I'm a huge fan just off the rip hearing those words because I've always felt like Destiny would play great in things like King of the Hill or even Oddball. Oh, and this patch note made me perk up a little bit. Special ammo crates are back, and I think it's just going to be for this particular mode, but it looks like Bungie's playing around with the way that we are in special in this game, whether it be through the meter like in Checkmate or crates spawning with it like we do right now. It seems like special ammo is a little in flux, and I'm curious to see what Bungie's ultimately going to land on as to how we obtain it. Interesting to note too that special ammo will fall upon a player's death in this game mode, so this seems to really flip everything about special up on its head and return to the system that we knew in Destiny 1. I'm kind of all for it. Cycling between these 3 systems now, which is the existing Destiny 2 system, the existing Destiny 1 system, and then the Checkmate special system, which everyone feels the best, I guess is what we'll land on, or maybe we'll see different acquisitions for different game modes. That's all to be determined. Improvements to Iron Banner will come, and so too will a new modifier. So Bungie's been playing around with this via Checkmate, but now we get a really radical one called Hardware, which is a no abilities, no special, only weapons. And I think this makes sense with Checkmate sort of becoming base Crucible. There's no Checkmate anymore. So this is kind of, to me, the new version of Checkmate. I know a lot of people have always asked, what would Destiny feel like without any abilities or supers, and it was just pure gunplay? Well, it looks like we're about to find out. I cannot wait to check out hardware. This also looks like a really fun modifier to existing Crucible. And then lastly, in the final shape, it says private matches will have more options per mode, and I am a huge fan of this. Bungie should open up the gates and let us customize like we used to back in 2002 on Halo CE. This will allow us the chance to customize special ammo, ability cooldowns, revives, respawns, and more. Hopefully, Bungie really opens things up here, and let's just get a little chaotic, right? I'd love to see some party game modes come out of this, and that to me is what Halo and Destiny have always been famous for and fun for, are the kind of wacky and chaotic game modes you can get into in custom games with your friends. Moving on quickly to the sandbox portion of the TWAB, and this one's a quick pass through because we actually covered this, as too did Bungie, last week. There's a video link that you guys can click on to check out it. Make sure you guys are kept up to date on all the massive changes coming to the sandbox. We're getting extra health. Special ammo is changing forever. Massive updates to damage on all the different archetypes of weapons. Make sure you guys check out last week's video for a breakdown on that. And last but not least, certainly most controversially, and that is matchmaking. Most importantly, they do give up some interesting feedback about trials and how if they were to make it trios only, they believe that the population drop would hit 30% overnight. So they're going to instead provide additional 50% chance to drop non-adept trials weekly weapons, a 50% chance at a trials engram drop, and additional trials reputations. I'd like to, I don't know how you do this, but I'd like to see even more done. Don't know if that's going to improve the experience for trios and trials. It's been a major pain point ever since some of the recent changes to trials. But I don't know, man. Trials, what do you do with it? Do you just axe it at this point? You introduce something like Collision as the new game mode for trials? Something's got to change. Something's got to give. And while I'm very pleased with a lot of what I've read, trials just leaves me feeling a little underwhelmed. And lastly, we've all heard of skill-based matchmaking, but it's really lobby balancing that's causing more issues than not. And I'm excited for this change because it looks like in order to alleviate some of the lobby balancing pain points, they're going to utilize a snake draft system to make teams more balanced. We've actually used this in the past during some of our community tournaments, and that's exactly what it did. It delivered a balanced competition. I'm actually really excited to see this change implemented and see if at the very least, they're not going to get rid of skill-based matchmaking, but maybe they could neutralize lobby balancing instead. That would be a massive win for everybody in Destiny. And fitting in one final patch note to this video, Bungie will be adding controller dead zone settings to Destiny 2. This has been a massive quality of life ask for a long time. This is actually kind of out of date, all things being considered. Most every single game on the market, AAA especially, has dead zone settings. I don't mean to laugh, but it's been a while, and Bungie is finally going to be adding those to the customization tab in Destiny 2. I personally love the way that my sensitivity feels in this game. Not sure if I'll mess around with dead zone settings. Who am I kidding? Of course I will. Who doesn't head case about their settings? And Bungie's now given us one more reason to do so with the addition of dead zones. All right, that'll do it. Mega packed TWAB, PvP TWAB at that. Love to see it. We just broke down all the PvP changes coming soon to Destiny 2. I think my biggest takeaway as we wrap this up is that Bungie took a list of common asks from the community, and they've addressed nearly all of them. Now, they're not going to fix everything, right? That's impossible. But it seems like a lot of what we've been asking for years now, which has been a little too long, but Bungie says as much in this TWAB. So, I mean, I'll give them credit in the sense that at least they're accountable for the state of the Crucible here recently and their plans to address it and improve it. Count me in as excited for the changes coming on Tuesday, March 5th. We'll probably be streaming when those changes hit, so make sure you guys are following us over on Twitch as well. Make sure to subscribe and ring the bell if you enjoyed this piece of content. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. And as always, y'all stay positive, keep sniping, and we'll see you in the next one.
Three down.